In the ancient lands of the East, a legacy of faith was unfolding. Abraham, now old and full of years, looked toward the future of his lineage. His beloved wife Sarah had passed, leaving a void in the house and a deep sorrow in the heart of their only son, Isaac. Abraham called his most trusted servant, the manager of all he owned, to perform a task of the greatest spiritual and family importance. Abraham spoke earnestly, his voice steady with conviction. "Put your hand under my thigh," he commanded, "and swear a solemn oath before the Lord. Do not get a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites. Go to my own country and my own relatives instead." The servant asked what would happen if the woman refused to follow him. Abraham assured him that God's angel would go before him. While the plans were laid, Isaac was miles away, wandering through the fields of the Negeb, his mind preoccupied with heavy thoughts and loneliness. The horizon glowed with hues of orange and purple, yet Isaac's eyes remained cast down, reflecting the deep grief over his mother's death. Back at the encampment, the servant prepared for the long journey. He loaded 10 of Abraham's camels with every kind of good gift and treasure. The mission was daunting. He would travel hundreds of miles across harsh terrain to find a woman he had never met for a promise. Days turned into weeks. The caravan moved steadily across the shimmering desert dunes, the heat rising in waves from the golden sands. Each step was a testament to his loyalty. The servant kept his focus, trusting in the divine guidance Abraham had promised him during their oath. The vastness of the wilderness emphasized the weight of his mission. Failure was not an option for the house of Abraham. As evening approached on the final leg of his journey, the servant finally reached the outskirts of the city of Nar in Mesopotamia. He stopped at a well outside the town walls. It was the time of evening when the women would come out to draw water. The servant made his camels kneel down near the well. He was tired, but his mind was sharp with prayer and expectation. He knelt upon the earth and looked toward heaven. "O Lord, God of my master Abraham, give me success today," he whispered. He asked for a specific sign. The woman who says, "Drink, and I will water your camels too," let her be the one chosen for Isaac. Before he had even finished speaking in his heart, a young woman named Rebekah came out with her jar on her shoulder. She was very beautiful and modest. She went down to the spring, filled her jar, and came back up toward the well. The servant hurried to meet her. "Please give me a little water from your jar," he requested, his heart racing with anticipation. "Drink, my lord," she said quickly, and lowered the jar to her hands to give him a drink. She was hospitable and generous. Then, to his amazement, she said, "I'll draw water for your camels too, until they have finished drinking." The sign was being fulfilled. Rebekah did not hesitate. She ran back and forth to the well, emptying her jar into the trough for all 10 thirsty camels. The servant watched her in silence, wondering if the Lord had truly made his journey successful. Her diligence was a mark of her character. When the camels had finished, the man took out a gold nose ring and 2 gold bracelets, presenting them to her as a token of gratitude. He asked whose daughter she was, and when she revealed she was the granddaughter of Abraham's brother, the servant bowed and worshipped God. Rebekah ran home to tell her family. Soon, the servant was invited into their home, where he recounted the miraculous events at the well. Her family recognized the hand of the Lord in this. They agreed to let Rebekah go, and she bravely chose to follow the servant immediately. The return journey began. Rebekah and her maids followed the servant back to the land of Canaan, toward a new life and a new destiny. Meanwhile, Isaac was out in the field in the evening to meditate. He looked up and saw camels approaching in the distance. Rebekah also looked up and saw Isaac. She asked, "Who is that man walking in the field to meet us?" When she learned it was Isaac, she took her veil and covered herself in a gesture of modesty and respect for her future husband. Isaac brought her into the tent of his mother Sarah. He married Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. Through this union, Isaac was finally comforted after his mother's death. A new chapter of the covenant began with faith and love. This story reminds us that through prayer, diligent service, and trust in divine timing, God provides for every need of His children.